Hey, good morning. It is Friday, April 26th, and here's a daily tarot reading. I'm Lisa Loring, and I'm pulling some cards today to see what the energies are. This is the general reading for our all star signs. Ooh, we already have two cards coming out. What are they? The Chariot and the King of Wands came out. Awesome. For all star signs, all energies, this is just a general reading. If there's something that particularly resonates with you, comment or ask questions. You can also send me an email at lisa.loring@gmail.com if there's something that comes up for you personally that is too much to answer here, or something that you want to know more about. So I'm pulling from the Shadowscapes Tarot today. Just get a read on the energies. We've had two cards come out already, the Chariot and the King of Wands, which is a really interesting energy. I like that. It's all good. It's all good. We ask the angels and archangels to give us the best guidance on how to do the most with this day, with the energies that come toward us, to use it in the most productive and healthy way possible. I'm doing this pull on live on YouTube as well as Instagram because I like to have a live documentation of the fact that I pulled these cards without any forethought. Knight of Swords is the card that came up, and I'm just kind of like looking at him. This card has been on my mind lately. I don't know why. Knight of Swords. That's our central card of the reading. Let's see what else we have coming up. Let's leave my glasses on because I can't really see. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot deck, and it's a pretty detailed deck. It's very lovely and delicate. There's a lot of different kinds of imagery in it that I pick up. For instance, in the Devil card yesterday, I was really drawn to a very tiny bird. It was a crow carrying a very small cow. That's our second card. Our third card, Two of Swords. Two of Swords energies coming up. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Seven of Swords, which is interesting. And then the Three of Swords. And the Moon, Two of Pentacles. A lot of decisions today. I also wanted to pull a card from a brand new deck that I got. This is the Blessed Bee deck. So we'll pull one from that one as well. And my energy should come up with a there we go. A Blessing on Growing Older. That's an interesting one. This is the number 38 card. And by the way, today's date is the 26th of April. So I did do the numerology on today's date, and that breaks the entirety of the date, because it's the 26th, breaks down to 24, which is a number that the angels are encouraging us, the universe is encouraging us to have very positive thoughts, and to let us know that they're also assisting us in having those powerful thoughts, because we might be having a little bit of melancholy today. It looks like it. Also the 2 and the 4 of the date breaks down to a 6, which is also a number of to ask the angels for additional help. So we have the Growing Older card, Blessing on Growing Older, and I'll read the info on that a little bit later, and we'll see how that comes in. And this can be viewed as either a man or a woman. Doesn't really necessarily need to be one sex or the other, but I see a lot of abundance in this individual. You can see all of I don't think it's grape leaves. It's almost like, I don't know what that flower is. It's a beautiful purple stalk-like flower. And we've got the moon here, and then this person is draped in green as well, which is again this symbol of a life well lived. That's kind of what I'm picking up just off the top of the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and angle this computer down so you can see the cards that came out rather than me so much. You can have a little better view of those. And initially we got the Chariot, right? Which is a card of moving forward. It's often referred to as the card of Cancer, and you see the crab in that at the bottom of the card there. At the bottom of the card. Hi, Ashima. How are you? You had a question for me a couple of, I think it was last week. If you still have that question, feel free to type it. Okay. So we've got the Chariot, and we also have the King of Wands with that, which is these two together to me suggest a lot of passion, a lot of power, a lot of drive, and a lot mastery and a lot of confidence. And as these cards came out together, these two individuals are both looking in the same direction. So this also suggests to me this is energy that is going in one direction. It's not, you can see that from the cards. They're both looking forward, and they're both moving into the same direction. They're not, there's not an opposing forces kind of thing going on. And the unusual thing about this particular King of Wands card, I never really noticed that he's got this stone cat with him. And the Strength card is a card that has come up numerous times this week. And she also has these cats with her as well. She's got a lot of cat energy. So she's moving forward. Cat energy is also not something I necessarily associate with the Chariot card, but sometimes they are depicted as two sphinxes that are in the traditional tarot. And I'm being reminded of that right now, that these two sphinxes are in that tarot, and those are also cat energy. The notion that came up to me in my meditations this morning prior to doing this reading was that of the knowledge that if you don't own cats or you don't understand a lot about cats, they only act when they're ready, and they don't really expend energy unnecessarily unless they feel like it, unless they're feeling playful, and that's the kind of energy that they're rolling with. But in general, the cat energy is going to activate when it's ready. It activates when and it's very quick and it's very agile. So this is a lot of agility. This is a lot of movement and a lot of passion and a lot of drive. And that's what we're coming into this day with. That's really great. But perhaps with the Knight of Swords, this guy is pretty tactless. Well, he's not very tactless. I think that would be more of an association with the Page of Swords. But this gentleman is someone that comes in. He doesn't take any prisoners. He's coming in. He's going to say what he has to say, is the ideas he has, and this is what we're moving forward with. And there's, again, a tremendous amount of energy. So we have a lot of thought energy coming in today. We have a lot of passion, a lot of drive, and we're literally moving that passion in one direction. We come in with a very strong focus this morning into this day, and we are now, the Knight of Swords is moving in a different direction, and he's looking at the Two of Swords, which is the third card that came up in the reading today. And so there's some decisions to be made. Another card of Swords, another card of being in our thoughts, perhaps. And so harnessing our thoughts, I think, as we've got all this power and we have all this drive, and making sure we're going in the right direction, I think that harnessing the thoughts today is definitely an theme. Harnessing our thoughts, harnessing that power to make sure it is going in one direction rather than splitting off. And splitting off is something, you think of like taking two roads, and that's a choice here that's made with the Two of Swords card. This is a card of decisions, and it's a card of going within to make those decisions. This individual is a cloaked figure, and a cloaked figure is what came up in the Blessed Be cards that we pulled from earlier on in the week. I used this deck earlier on in the week, and a cloaked figure came on, which I don't remember the entirety of that message, but it was definitely about coming out of the cloak in order to, really uncloaking ourselves, unmasking ourselves in a way to show up in the world with our ideas and our thoughts. And, that's not necessarily the message that came the other day, but it's the message that's coming to me right now. It's uncloaking ourselves in order to reveal and to really reach for our heart's desire. And that's going to require a decision on our part. And we might need to be a little tactless and a little heartless as the king of the Knight of Swords. And it could be a perception of being heartless. A lot of people will come into situations or will not engage in conflict because they're so concerned about what everybody else is thinking. They're so concerned about their own responsibilities that they, avoid conflict, avoid the conversations that need to be had, avoid making decisions. And, as I said to a friend last night, that's just putting whipped cream on garbage, which is a quote from a former yoga teacher of mine. And you're just like, putting whipped cream on garbage and you're continuing to heap it on rather than dealing with the situation, which the Knight of Swords is clearly doing, which, we have a lot of power and drive to do, revealed by our Chariot and the King of Wands. This guy's super confident. He's going off. He's fully confident in his abilities to move forward and drive this chariot, to harness not only these horses, but this like crazy, I don't even know what this is. What kind of bird is that? He's got enough power to do that. And the other thing that's coming up to me is, we coming back to that numerology on today's date, which is the 24, which is the angels are working behind the scenes for us to keep us in those positive mindsets, to lean on them. So when you're finding yourself getting into negativity or getting into these arguments that seemingly like you're just busting in with your ideas and you're going to make your decisions at any cost, check in with yourself, uncloak yourself, be who you are, be in your authenticity. In order to, and that's kind of what I see here, this growing older card. This is a card of authenticity. This person's not wearing any makeup. This person's not wearing any like special clothes. I mean, she's got the stuff growing off her no matter what. She's abundant. She's beautiful. I'm seeing her as a she right now, but it could be a he. This individual is no doubt a gorgeous individual. Look at that. And at the end of the day, with the support of the angels, leaning into the support, doing the things that we actually do want to do in life, taking on the conflicts in a healthy and engaging way rather than abrasive, which, we can tone down this night a little bit, right? Then we come to the end of our lives in a place where we feel like we have lived our lives well. When we followed our dreams, when we've just made the decisions, for God's sake. And we've made the decisions to move forward, right? To lean into universal support. That support is here. That divine support is here. So I'm going to go ahead and just read what it actually says for this particular card, a blessing on growing older. You'll get to the end of your days just fine. And the number on that card is what? A 38. So that's a set. That's 3 and 8. 38 breaks 10. 3 and 8 comes to 11. That's a gateway card. It's a number of service. We are actually in best service to ourselves and to others when we are our authentic selves, when we're not trying to dress it up. She's dressed up just fine. She's been given everything she needs by the universe. A blessing on your ripening years for maturity and wisdom, for knowledge earned through doing of sacred things. So yeah, doing of sacred things. So, being of service to others, being of service to ourselves and our authenticity and being in our authentic selves, the fulfillment of magical tasks. So moving forward with purpose, with your life's purpose, not somebody else's. As you now know, it is a blessing to still be here, to wake up into this day and to do the best you can with it, right? We have like so much energy here that gives us that opportunity. No matter how challenging the life, every life is a gift for as long as you can breathe in and out and see the cycle of the sun. The growing years and the ripening of your life is the time of satisfaction and observation of the consequences of choices made and actions taken long ago. May the beginning of the time of your old age be most blessed. May there be those willing to learn from you, and may the wisdom you have gathered be shared out like ripe corn harvested at the edge of autumn's end. May you see the challenge, the changing of the body, the alteration of face and form as the mark of the wheel upon you, and may your old age be blessed with good health, companionship, and friends who have journeyed far along the way with you. Let there be a warm fire in your home about which you can tell the stories of your life, and may there be ears eager for the tales of adventures of your life, however humble they seem to be. May your back be strong and straight, your eyes clear and far seeing. May your hands not ache with cold, but open wide to take the hands of the youngest, and one hand reach into the other side of this life where the ancient ones await you. May you not fear your mortality or bemoan the blessing of the many years you have gathered. May there be fresh starts even in this twilight age of your life. And when it comes time to be cared for, may many hands soothe the sheets, light the fire, bring to you nourishing foods, and join you with talk and laughter and true affection. May you not grow bitter at the passing of youth's bloom, but to celebrate the wisdom of the many years you have lived. Let your old age be a blessing to you with freedom's uninhibited speech and an unshackling of expectations. Live like today's your last day. Be this person who speaks freely with no filter, right? Live the kind of life that you are proud to tell tales about rather than sit in complacency, right? Let this be a freedom beyond that of the body, and may your spirit quest for every drop of wisdom from the cauldron and drink it down as lustily as a babe takes mother's milk. For you are ancient once again, and we need you, elder, to show the young ones the way. Do not be invisible and refuse to isolate yourself. Be conspicuous, noisy, and grateful, and you will be most loved in return, you of the white hair, of the time-dappled skin, and the blessing and the wonders of the years. Again, this is a person who has gone in, who has driven the chariot, who has lived with passion, right? This is a person who has made decisions, and yeah, they've been hard, but they've made them. They've actually made them. They've gone in. We've got the power of the Knight of Swords to help us decide, just to make a decision, just to step forward, just to speak your mind, speak your piece, and this is what's got to happen. This is what I need to do for me. This is the result of a life well lived. And at the bottom of the deck, I forgot, we've got the Seven of Swords. So, there may be this feeling that, something is being taken away from you, or you're taking away from something. Got a lot of swords in today's reading. And the Three of Swords is at the bottom of the deck, and the Moon card, and the Two of Pentacles. That's also juggling. Six of Cups. So there's a lot of kind of remembrance and feeling like you're getting away with something, perhaps. Seven of Swords energy is kind of thievery energy. There's a connotation of guilt with this particular card, and you can see that. He's sitting there. He's like, did I do the right thing? You might be there. You might be in that place. The Three of Swords, the Moon card. This is a card of having to go within to go with intuition, to look at the dark side. And I think about him. He's wearing his mask. That's the dark side of ourselves. But when we bring that into balance, it is a juggling act. It is a juggling act, and it's a careful juggling act. That's that Two of Pentacles energy. But we come away with memories, and there's that card again. There's the Death card coming up. You can only come up as the Phoenix if you actually make a decision and you let things die. If you appreciate where you've come from. But it's going to take some time, and I think that's what we're most afraid of. Time. And that's another thing I'm seeing in this blessing on growing older. The time that it may take for us to get to that place where, we can see our heart's desire, we can feel it, we can sense it, and that's that heart being sensed in this Two of Swords. We can sense it, we know that we're moving in the right direction, but can we take the action to get there? Can we get through the Seven of Swords energy? The Three of Swords, you're breaking somebody's heart, including your own. Can we face our dark side, that dark side of the moon? Can we juggle? It's going to be difficult. Not everything is easy. And I think that I was listening to David Palmer doing his deep astrology report yesterday. I went up to meet an old friend I haven't seen in a really long time. And he was talking about, and I encourage you to listen to him. He has some really good reports. He can be a little difficult to take, but I think you take just like anything else, you take what you need and you leave the rest behind. And he was talking about how have come out of such an age of instant gratification where, we're used to things happening pretty quickly. And we're actually moving into an age where we need to work for things. And I think we can feel, I think we instinctively feel and know the way forward. And that's this card too. She's using her instincts. This individual, he, she, whomever, is using their instincts, and they can feel that way forward, kind of like the force, right? But the way is not easy. And I think that's what holds us back. And that's what David Palmer was talking about. It's like the things that we want are coming, but we have to be willing to wait for and work for them. And I think that's really, really good advice, and it's really well said. And I think the task of that is daunting, and our stamina isn't as in place as we want it to be. So I'm going to leave it at that. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. You can direct message me on Instagram for those who watch the live poll, and leave them in the comments once I put the 1-minute video up on the Instagram. If you would like a private reading with me, I'll put my email in the link in the description below on both places. And like I said, if there's anything that came up for you in particular around this reading, please let me know and we can address that. I hope you have a great day. It's going to be a great weekend. It's just about, again, like yesterday's reading, we've got to start taking responsibility for ourselves. Have a great day.